My name is Brianna Brischer, and I'm going to be talking to you today about toxoplasmosis. Toxoplasmosis is defined as a disease affecting animals and caused by infection with Toxoplasma gondii. In humans, it's characterized by mild febrile symptoms, but may be fatal in AIDS patients, and transplacental transmission may result in miscarriage, stillbirth, or severe birth defects. The infectious agent involved is Toxoplasma gondii. This is a type of prokaryotic parasite that was discovered in a North African rodent called Gondii in 1908. The number of people infected with toxoplasmosis is generally 25% of the human population. Although Toxoplasma gondii is found in 25% of the human population, it's generally an asymptomatic disease. So a lot of people can have this disease and not even know they have it because they don't show any symptom. The taxonomy of Toxoplasma gondii begins with the kingdom Protozoa, and then the phylum Apicomplexa, and then the class Sporozoacida, and then the order Eucocydioridea, and then the suborder Emoriorina, and then the family Sarcoxistidae, and then the genus Toxoplasma with a species of gondii. T. gondii is under the phylum Apicomplexa because Apicomplexa is a type of alveolate. Alveolates are protozoa with small, membrane-bound cavities called alveoli. Apicomplexa includes all chemotrophic pathogens of animals. The name Apicomplexa comes from a complex of special intracellular organelles, which are located at the apices of the infected stages of these microbes. These apices help them penetrate host cells. Cats, rodents, livestock, and humans are the four most common hosts of T. gondii. Cats are known to be the definitive host because that's where T. gondii can sexually reproduce. In the intermediate hosts, rodents, livestock, and humans, T. gondii can reproduce asexually. Cats are the definitive hosts since it is only in their stomachs where T. gondii can reproduce sexually. Therefore, the immature oocytes are shed through their feces. Cats usually defecate in soil areas, and if those areas are where people grow vegetation, then rodents and livestock will get into it, and that's how they acquire the T. gondii and become intermediate host. Now humans can become a host through eating uncooked meat or coming in contact with cat feces or the soil that cats have defecated on. Humans can also come in contact through vegetation because the vegetation gets the T. gondii from the soil. This diagram is an easier way to show where the definitive hosts are and the intermediate hosts. As you can see, the definitive host is the cat, which is at the top, and then the intermediate hosts are the rodents, the livestock, and the humans. Humans can also get T. gondii infections through organ transplants and blood transfusions, and even from cleaning out your cat's litter box. Fetuses can also host T. gondii if their mothers become infected by the infectious agents during pregnancy. The most interesting aspect of T. gondii when it's in its most mature stage inside rats and mice is that it attacks the part of the brain that controls the odor sensories. Without the odor sensories, the rats and mice are incapable of sensing whether or not a cat is nearby. Therefore, they are easily caught. The real neat part is that the T. gondii is able to find its way back into the intestines of the cat so that it can reproduce sexually, and then create the oocysts that it needs to defecate out to further spread its disease. I have mentioned several times that the different types of reproduction occurs in two different types of hosts, the definitive and the intermediate. As you can see here, we can see the different stages of maturity level in T. gondii. In the definitive host, the stages are different than in the intermediate host. Here, the reproduction happens into gametes, zygote, and then oocyst. And then here, the oocyst is transmitted into the intermediate host, where it becomes a sporozoite, and then a tachyzoite, and then a bradyzoite. and this goes back and forth, causing the asexual reproduction. The pathogenesis of the infectious agent T. gondii starts in the undercooked meat, and then it travels into the intestinal system, which then goes into your lymph nodes, and then through your lymphocytes and your capillary system, it goes to major organs and your muscle. At-risk populations are people who are immunocompromised and pregnant ladies. If the pregnant woman hasn't become infected with T. gondii before being pregnant, then her infant can be at risk for birth defects and stillbirth. If infected in the third trimester, the infant can still have birth defects, and those birth defects could still not even take place until their late teenage years, such as blindness in one of their eyes. A rise in toxoplasmosis infections occurred when the AIDS epidemic had happened because there was an increase in immunocompromised people. Therefore, there was more opportunities for this opportunistic parasite to infect the host with the disease toxoplasmosis. An increase in domesticated cats also increased the number of cases since more people were coming in contact with cat feces. Most people who host this infectious agent don't actually show symptoms if they get the disease toxoplasmosis. The symptoms usually only come up if you're one of the people who are more at risk, such as immunocompromised people and pregnant women. These symptoms include fever, headache, muscle pain, sore throat, and enlarged lymph nodes in the head and neck. Diagnosis of this disease is done through serology, where they look at the serum from your body and they see the amount of antibodies in it. With a high of IgM or IgA, or a rise in IgG, in successive serological samples taken, they can diagnose this disease. They can also monitor placental transmissions in the fetus with things such as PCR and looking at the genetics of or if they find the genes of the disease inside the child. Medical prevention of this disease isn't really sought after since most cases are asymptomatic and the at-risk population is fairly small. No vaccination has also been done for the same reason. This means that the only way to prevent is through avoidance. If you cook your meats and vegetables properly and also clean your vegetables very well, you won't get it through your foods. You also could change your litter box every 48 hours so that the T. gondii doesn't have time to develop in the cat feces. It is extra important for the people at risk because of obvious reasons. So that means that pregnant women shouldn't change litter boxes or garden or try to avoid having or eating improperly prepared foods. You could also, if you have a cat, just have it an indoor cat and not let it go outdoors because that's where they can catch mice and get T. gondii inside their stomach. That concludes my presentation. If you have any questions, please jot them down and feel free to ask them during the panel section on Monday in class.